The economy is going to shit, and we all intuitively feel this, and it's been going this way for quite some time. The funniest part about it, you send in these resumes nowadays, and humans don't even look over the resume. Instead, it's some sort of AI that's looking for keywords. And so to combat this, what people do is they use AI to create their own resume because they want, for whatever specific industry they're going into, they want AI to make sure that the correct trigger words are on there. So in other words, if you can't seduce an AI, then you're not getting a job. And so now we have AI talking to other AI. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to late stage capitalism.
Kruger man.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we got a video by somebody named Jet Franzen, I believe it. Jet Franzen. The title of the video is "Trying to Get a Job in 2026 is a Humiliation Ritual." Yeah, I don't know. I saved this video because I know getting a job could be difficult. And the economy is garbage. So I'm honestly very interested in this video. But without further ado, let's get into it.
Job searching in 2026 has effectively become a humiliation ritual. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jet. I'm currently a senior in college on my last semester before I graduate. So I'm in the prime pool of people that would be looking for a job. All of my peers, people that I grew up with, are also in the same boat as me, and we have talked extensively about this idea. Did you know that the average person nowadays has to send 1,200, you didn't mishear me, 1,200 job applications before they land a job? The average 40 years ago,
There's no way that's true. No way. No. He said 1,200. I mean, I could see like 50, but over 1,000 is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he might be exaggerating, but we'll see. I know he said he's not exaggerating, but
was 3. The economy is going to shit, and we all intuitively feel this, and it's been going this way for quite some time.
okay.
The funniest part about it, right, is that you send in these resumes nowadays, and humans don't even look over the resumes. Instead, it's some sort of AI that's looking for keywords, right? And so to combat this, what people do is they use AI to create their own resume because they want, for whatever specific industry they're going into, they want AI to make sure that the correct trigger words are on there. So in other words, if you can't seduce an AI, then you're not getting a job, right? And so now we have AI talking to other AI. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to late stage capitalism. I mean, it's just ridiculous, is it not? It's comical. I would love to laugh about it, but I'm in the shit.
Damn. I actually do my own resume. Actually, when I'm going for a job, I actually make my own resume. So maybe I'm shortchanging myself by not getting with it. It's kind of like bodybuilders, like the ones that's natural compared to the ones that's shooting up. Maybe I gotta start.
No! Woo! That was a lot of fucking coke.
Right now, right? Like, it's so ridiculous. And every part of the process is completely in favor of these corporations because some of them will try to detect if you used AI on your resume, and then they'll say, well, listen, we used AI to look over your resume, but the fact that you used AI on your resume, that's a no-no.
Wow.
And so you're no longer an applicant anymore. let's talk about ghost jobs for a second here too. I'm just going to be all over the place in this video, but just bear with me here. There are literally fake jobs that companies will put out there so that they seem more desirable and like they're hiring. And it's so disrespectful, and to do that from the position of power, like the corporations have the power, is beyond me. It's
I don't understand. I don't understand what he means by that. To make them look better, to make it I don't know. Maybe he'll explain it further.
so ridiculous. One of my good friends, he's 2 years older than me, so he graduated last year, so it's been a little over a year in the job market, a year and a half. And this is legitimately the individual with the most agency out of anyone that I know. So like he's very proactive. He constantly like takes control of his own life, right? And he has KPIs that he does every day. So he has to submit a minimum of 4 applications every single day. He's never missed a day, and he like does among many other things that he does. But smart guy. He's nothing over the top. He's nothing like he's no crazy good candidate, but he's bare minimum average, maybe a little bit above average, and then he works really hard. So shouldn't a guy like that, the average guy, be rewarded with, a decent job? Is that too much to ask for? Yeah, apparently it is. And in about 4 to 5 years, I'm gonna say, not even it. I don't know if you guys have seen Claudebot. It's getting pretty scary, but AI will take over. And the only reason that AI hasn't already taken over is because they don't understand how to manage the liability of AI. So AI, like I just mentioned, Claudebot, it's just a virtual assistant. It can pretty much do anything for you. I'm considering actually buying it myself to try to help me with trying to make money online. But essentially, it can do the majority of basic jobs, and then like let's see, it's advancing at a faster rate than ever before. So in 1 year from now, AI could potentially do 90% of desk jobs, like jobs that are done on a computer. And at that point, the only thing that's stopping the implementation of this is liability. How do these companies control, like who do they blame? Because if a doctor has malpractice, then they're like, hey, like, you're getting in trouble for that. Or like if a member of a hedge fund is, fucking up, like they have like tracking abilities on this, and so that person can be punished. With AI, it's like, oh, this went wrong, like who do we fire? Who do we hold accountable? There
Blame
really
your damn
isn't one.
self.
And for a lot of larger
Shoot, whoever programmed it. But yeah, they say AI is going to take over millions of jobs, especially everybody in the tech company. Y'all have no future with tech. Like you're cooked up. One day they're going to completely replace all of your jobs with AI. I mean, I guess through the development of just the world in general, they created machines to help, with farming and, medicine and X, Y, and Z. But so I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to completely replace those jobs at some point. But yeah, a lot of jobs are going to get replaced by AI, and there's going to be none. There's going to be none you can do about it besides just trying to get another job that will last you the rest of your life, at least.
companies that are handling a lot more critical information, such as people's like, you know, money, their financial, like how they're getting paid through their bank account, whatever. Like you're sitting at very high risk situations. And oh my gosh, don't even get me started on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is the fakest place on earth. Everybody, it actually seems like people are selling their soul on LinkedIn. Like no bullshit.
Mm.
The posts from people that I grew up with, like friends of mine, it like it I'm not trying to judge, but it's like, oh my gosh, everybody's a pussy. But at the same time, I don't even blame them. I do not blame them because they need a job, but it seems like they're selling their soul just to get a job that they don't even want, and that will be taken over in 4 to 5 years' time. It is a joke. It's a joke. For those who don't know me, and maybe you just clicked on this video because you saw the title and you related, I do social media. I just started in October of this past year, so it's been like 6 months, right? Or like 5 months, okay? I now have a greater asset in my social media following. I have like around 300K on Instagram and like 550K on TikTok. I have a greater asset in my social media following. By the way, I seriously don't mean that. I'm not saying that to brag or be cocky at all. I'm just saying that for example here. It's a greater asset to me than my degree will be when I graduate at the end of the semester. It legitimately is, which is why I just told you guys.
I feel like one day they're trying to replace content creators too. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be hard to do, even though yes, like they're definitely getting better with AI and people and making it harder to detect whether it's a real person or not. I think it's unless you're like way out of the loop of social media, I think it's still pretty easy to tell if something's AI or not. But hey, man, it's going to get way better, and you're not going to be able to tell at some point. And I think they are going to also try to replace content creators, but again, it's going to be hard to do because people want to connect with a real person. People want something relatable. They want to, and yes, AI technically does go, you know, gather information all across the web and emulates it to, you know, come off as human and as real as possible. But still, us as people, we want to connect with, we want real connections, most of us. So we're still gonna a lot, at least a lot of normal people. There's people who treat chat GPT like their best friend, but for normal people who still want human connection and still want to actually be able to talk to a real person and whatever, yeah, they're still gonna want it to be a real person. But I mean, I guess our brains adapt to the social media world and get more used to it, I guess maybe one day all of the content creators would just be AI. May- maybe not all of them because I think there's still going to be people who want to do it. But I think if they can, they will, especially if they could make more money.
I'm trying to do Claudebot because I want to tell it to. I want it to show me how I can make money online because right now I'm making no money at all besides like what I get paid for views. And anybody that knows like TikTok, it is like terrible. It's I've gotten like over 300 million views on TikTok, and I haven't even been paid like $1,000 or something. 300 million views, guys. It might actually be more than that. Actually, it could potentially be a lot more than that. But like it's just so bad. Instagram, I get paid no money from. Like you don't get paid for views at all. At least maybe you could, but I don't. I'm getting too sidetracked right now. What I want to say is that it almost seems like you could be working your butt off in college, or maybe you already have a job, but it's entry level and you're trying to work your way up. But it's what are we doing it for? Because we're just going to get replaced by AI. And these companies, these corporations, I don't need to convince you. You guys know they don't care about you. They don't.
Facts.
This is all you are to them. You're an asset. You make them money. The average employee makes a company 4 times what their salary is. That is a fact. So it's a humiliation ritual, guys. The For the first time ever, um, the average age of a new hire is 43 years old. That's the
No
highest it's ever
way,
been in
bruh.
American history, I believe,
No
if I'm not
way.
wrong. Do you know if
I mean, it's what? I mean, it's believable though because the average age for homeowners now is the average age for a homeowners has went up significantly as well. I think it used to be like 27, 28, and now it's like 40, 45, 45 to 50, which is crazy. I mean, if you're in your 20s, unless you're like rich or come from money or you're one of them famous athletes, rappers, and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. Like you really get into the money, you can't even look towards buying a house. You can't even think about it at all.
like messed up that is, shouldn't it be your like college students? People aren't going to be able to retire. And with inflation, you work really hard right now, you get paid, let's say you get paid $30 an hour. Well, $30 an hour in 20 years from now is going to be worth the equivalent of maybe $10 an hour. And then in another 20 to 30 years, when you would retire, it's going to be worth like a few dollars. So when they promote you, it's not even them promoting you. It's just saying, well, we're so
bro. This hyper capitalistic society that we're living in, bro. It's like it's regressing us. You know, it's the people who are making like the majority amount of the wealth. They're making more money and finding loopholes to not pay taxes. We, on the other hand, people who are anywhere between being impoverished to middle class, I mean, we're cooked. The middle class, though, they do convince themselves that they're, you know, eventually going to be at that stage one day. So they vote, they vote towards whoever is going to help them pay less taxes. But yeah, man, it's regressing our society. I mean, those people who are just trying to suck every little dollar out of the people, out of people who barely have any in the first place, and not pay them properly to actually be able to take care of themselves. It's like they're paying people just enough to, just have the basic necessities, but not enough to get ahead, and not enough to really make something of themselves, and have an abundance, and to really be able to properly take care of themselves and their families. They do not care anything about that. They just want you to have just enough to keep making them more money, just enough to keep going to work, slave away, go back home, eat, sleep, rest. No, I mean eat, sleep, go back to work, and then repeat the cycle, and that's it. They don't care about nothing else. So I don't know, man. GG's.
inflation increased by like 7% and your promotion is going to give you an extra 2-3%, so you're going to be happy, right? No, you're actually like not even um leveling out with the market, with the value of the dollar. Do you like, it's such a joke. I'm saying this stuff out loud and I'm like, is this even real? Like, I can't believe this is real. It's ridiculous not to believe that AI can't take your job. I know a lot of people like hate AI and all this stuff. But you have to like live in the real world and try to plan accordingly to like what's going on. Like, this is game theory optimal, right? Like, you got to figure out the game and then like try to position yourself in the best spot. So Naval Ravikant, he says that the future is, it's all going to be about creation. So you need to create something. It doesn't need to be content creation like what I'm doing right now, but you have to create a business. You need to create a skill set that's going to be valuable for something, because AI is going to be able to automate most things. It's your best bet to plan accordingly. And I feel like it's a better use of my time to try to figure out how these AI systems work. And I'm not talking chat GBT that's going to help me write a, like, complete my homework, or for the people that are already working, write a uh
No, he's talking about the real stuff that's going to take over the jobs. ChatGPT ain't really taking nobody's job. That's just a better Google, a upgraded Google, basically. But no, he's talking about the stuff that's going to put a lot of people out on the streets.
is that it can write code. So you don't, as long as you can speak English, you can now create software. And whether that's an app, or whether that's a website, or whether that's just like a service in general, if you can create something good enough, then you can be your own boss. And there's talks in the air of what is referred to as universal base income. If you're unfamiliar, let's say that AI comes in and it takes all desk jobs. So now unemployment is 50%. Then in Elon Musk is saying in 7 years time, it will have robots that can be mass produced that will take over most labor intensive jobs. So now we're looking at unemployment in the 90s, potentially more. I've heard experts say 98, 90.
But what of, hold on. But what of the human race? What of the people? Like, what's going to happen to us people who rely on working these jobs to take care of ourselves, to take care of our families, to You know, what of us? To them, what about it? They do not care.
9%. If you can't find a way to like to get into the class of elites, which most people can't, me and you, let's be real, most likely won't, then you're just it's just
And it's set up for us not to be able to. Like I was just saying earlier, it's set up the way that they set up the economy, the way that they set up this system is created for us not to be able to get ahead. That's why there's only a very small slither of people. It may seem like a lot of people's wealthy, but most of the wealth is going to a small amount of the overall population. We're not Most people is not really getting money like that. I'm gonna be real. And well, we can never even hope to get to where they were. And a lot of them did a lot of foul play and BS to even get there in the first place, or had stuff handed to them. So, and that's not to say you shouldn't try, but I'm just saying it's very unlikely you'll ever accrue the amount of wealth of a Elon Musk or you know people like that.
going to be a two faction system like in the movies. You used to have the upper class, the middle class, the lower class, right? Or I like to call it the working class in the middle. Now
I'm sorry to keep pausing it, but me personally, I just do not see why somebody would have billions and billions of dollars, almost $1 trillion, and there's people who still eating out of trash cans and a very high homeless rate and poverty rate when there's people who have so an abundance of wealth that they will never be able to spend in multiple lifetimes. It just does not make sense to me. I'm sorry. Like I'm not saying that, capitalism is all bad, people should be able to make their money or whatever. But I mean, come on, bro. Like, especially if this is supposed to be the greatest country in the world, they got it. Something got to change when it comes to that.
you have the upper class, which owns like 30 to 40% of the wealth, and it's 0.01%. There is no middle class. The working class is just like the bottom like 99%. Because let's say you're a lawyer. At this point, I'm just rambling about the economy and not even just the job market. But let's say you're a lawyer, you are still putting in 60 hours a week, which is the same as the Amazon work single mom that works at Amazon for also 60 hours a week to just try to support. And so don't get me wrong, the lawyer is going to make a lot more money, but you have to look at things in terms of how much effort and time are you putting into this stuff. It's ridiculous. For those who don't know, the ancient Romans and the ancient Greeks, they have words for it. One's like uh odium, that's what the word is. Otimu, I think, or ium, whatever it is. Okay, it basically means like leisure time, but in not in like a you're lazy way. It's more in like you're gonna do fruitful things like connect with your community, read, write, philosophy, whatever it is. Okay, so back in the day, you were rich if you the less that you worked. That was the signal. And so the Romans and the
Okay.
Greeks both believed very much that your
I think it means like the less physical labor you have to do to actually uh, get your money, that symbolizes wealth. If you're able to have residual income, income that you don't have to actually put physical labor in to make, you just make money while you sleep. You can make money basically off the backs of somebody else, which is most likely how it's going to happen. And yeah, you can just go on about your life and you're still making money. That symbolizes more wealth. You are wealthy. You are more wealthy if that's how you accrue your money.
life is not about, just like working. So I've made another video on my channel where I say only a slave quantifies its existence through productivity. We've created a hustle
Mm.
culture where people are just like willing to do anything, and it's like they're straight up just like being slaves to these corporations. The entire job application process is you kissing ass.
I know I keep pausing it, but I fully get what I think I fully get what he's saying. Like in hustle culture, the amount of work you're doing, like the fact that you're willing to have a bunch of these different businesses and work this job, and where I'm working 3 jobs at one time, I'm doing a bunch of, I'm a hard worker. I'm doing all this work, and yeah, I'm getting I'm getting some money, but that does not symbolize that you're actually getting more wealthy. You're working hard, but there's a lot of people who have multiple businesses that are still broke. They're still, even if their business is bringing in, let's say, 200,000 a year, but the cost of doing the business costs the same amount, or you're just making enough to pay your bills. You're still, you're basically still broke. You can look like you have more money. You're gonna have the appearance because you're probably gonna have a nice car, a house, X, Y, and Z. Like you may technically be, what's going to look like you're technically doing better than somebody who, has tattered clothes and is homeless on the street for sure. But at the same time, you're still broke. You're only really as rich as how much money you have after everything is paid off. You have no debt, everything is paid, and you still have millions of dollars. That's how you're rich, and you don't have to put in physical labor to get that money. So the people with all the businesses and everything like that, but they're still not making more than what they have to pay, you're still basically broke.
until you could get there. I made a video recently where I said my problem is the corporate world requires a certain level of ass kissing, a certain level of suck uppery that I simply wasn't born with. But it's true. What are we doing here? What are we doing nowadays? The the problem too is that a lot of people, almost every single, no, actually every single person that I went to high school with, that I know of, has like is not even like willing to put in the mental effort to like try to revolt against this system. Instead, they're just like succumbing to it, and they're like, I give up, like I don't care enough. And dude, it's tragic. What are we doing here? I hope if you stayed this long in the video, like you agree with me, you understand what I'm saying.
No, I do.
The HR ladies, don't even get me started about these HR ladies. The most pretentious, freaking like fakest human beings ever.
Swear to goodness,
I
bro.
dude, like,
They'll say the rudest things to you with a smile on their face, bro. I'm telling you, be just some of the worst people ever. But they have that HR voice. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna let you go, okay? But we hope the best for you, and shut up. It's really good. I don't want to hear it.
half the freaking HR ladies, like I don't even mean this in a bad way. They're just like diversity hires. They're like, oh my gosh, we need to hire women. Let's just put them on HR because women are good with connecting and communicating. And then they become like the fakest human beings you have ever seen in your life. I'm not saying women are fake. I'm not like making that generalization. I'm just saying anybody who has any experience with HR knows that they are just, oh my gosh. Like, actually spare me.
Yeah, I understand that, you had, you know, you had an illness for like a month, but you're just not working. Like we still expect you to work. I mean, it's like I don't we don't really care. You need to be at work or you're useless and you don't need to be here. We don't need to have you on payroll. We're not gonna wait for you to get better. Just leave. Swear to goodness.
Susie, you have no idea what it's like to try to enter the job market at this time. Okay? Like you are a clown. I genuinely don't take you seriously. Anyways, this video is
I feel like you're talking about somebody in particular. He had a name and everything.
getting way too long-winded. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope you related.
Oh man, W video. I'm not gonna lie, he has some very good points. I honestly agree. Um, but I don't really have anything else to add. You let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you're notified every time I drop a video. And until next time, I'm out.